Good evening, here we are. I do have the iRacing U up. I just want to throw that out there right now. I do apologize about that. My timing and scoring app, for some reason, has bugged out and it's doing an update all of a sudden. So I'm going to try to get that figured out. But until that updates itself, I'm going to have this up so you guys can at least see some timing and scoring. Right now, here's the field, what we've got going on. So far, one car to take time. Race number 1 for the All-Star Racing League Spring Shootout. In the SRX cars. These cars are really tough to drive. New addition to iRacing in a recent build. And they're pretty tough to drive. Let's try and get some on-track action. Brian Zimmerman. Familiar face here on True Sim Productions. Making his 1 qualifying lap. He's going to go to the top spot, 17.106 on lap number 1. Really hoping this update gets done on this timing app before the race is over, or before qualifying is over, I should say. We're almost halfway. Brandon Elvis waiting in the pit area right here. Oh, so close to being champion last season in the Barry Elvis Performance and Fabrication late model series. Came up just 1 spot short to Brian Voss. See if anybody else is on track. Not at this moment right now. Here's the qualifying results. So far, Brian Zimmerman is your fast qualifier. Tanner Marr in the 2nd spot in the 4 machine. Dalton Creech in the 3rd position. Rob Hattenbach in the 4th spot. And Kevin Prettyman in the 88 machine, rounding out the top 5 in the field as of right now. Still about 2 minutes left in the qualifying session. Brandon Elvis elects to take his laps. Gets a good run off the corner here. This track and this car is just a tough combo. I've ran 2 races here and the tire fall off is pretty intense. You experience a lot of push in the right front and you can burn the rear tires up really quick in this car. So these guys are going to have to be very cautious of how hard they push these cars. And Brandon Elvis goes quick time on lap number 1 right there, a 17.010. So about a 10th faster than Brian Zimmerman in the 28 machine. These guys have got 125 laps ahead of them. We've got a 12-car field getting set for 125 laps. This is going to be exciting. These cars are very racy compared to other cars that we usually see. The late model stocks are pretty fun to watch in the long run because the guys can come back to each other during the long run, but the passing is so difficult in those cars. There's a lot of different ways you can drive these cars, and the differing driving styles really plays a factor in these races. So we'll go through the field on the pole for tonight's race. Brandon Elvis in the 54 machine. His outside, Brian Zimmerman in the 28. And Tanner Marr going to be rolling off in the 3rd spot behind them, with Dalton Creech in the 36 to his outside. Rob Hattenback in the 00 down low in the Red Marines 00. And then in the 6th spot, Kevin Prettyman in the 88 machine in the Exalta car. Zach Murphy going to be rolling off 7th in the 29. And Daniel Sweat repping the STP colors in the 07 machine. Back behind them, Anthony Rennick in the number 9. Going to be rolling off in the 9th spot. And Owen Zacharias going to be rolling off in the 10th position to his outside. Back behind them, Jeffrey Miller in the 79 machine. And Bradley Hollifield in the 3. Going to be making up our 12-car field. So we're going to get set and ready to go. Green flag racing. We'll set it on a camera right there and try and call it the best that we can. From what I'm seeing, the update on my timing and scoring app should be done about 10-20 laps in. So that's going to play a big factor in how well we can view this race. But it should be an exciting one nonetheless. And the field is rolling off. Brandon Elvis picks up the pole in race number 1 of the spring shootout. I'm excited for this one. They're going to race hard in the beginning, but the more and more you push these tires, the more you're going to regret it later. You check really quick and see how many tire sets that they do get. So they have 2 sets of tires in the pits this evening. So in total for the 125 lap race, or for the 125 lap race, they have 3 sets of tires, including this one that they have on right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys choose to play a pit strategy and change it up and win the race. So down the back straightaway, lights are off on the iRacing.com pace car. We make our way through turns 3 and 4. Brandon Elvis, Brian Zimmerman through the restart zone. We are green flag racing in the spring shootout. Down into turns 1 and 2. Brian Zimmerman way up the racetrack, really using up the top side. They're dead even down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. Everybody back behind them trying to wrestle for position. Give lap number 1 to Brandon Elvis. He's able to clear Brian Zimmerman. Dalton Creech settles into the 3rd spot behind him with Tanner Marr in the 4th position. Caution flag is out. Not quite sure what happened there. We'll see. He's back behind. I believe with Daniel Sweat back here maybe, further up. Ooh, Anthony Rennick in the 9 machine. Going around, I believe all by himself. I think he was the last car in that line. But these cars are slippery, and we saw it right there on the exit of the corner. So your race leader, Brandon Elvis, got a short glimpse of pressure from Brian Zimmerman right there on the initial restart. Zimmerman was really using up the top side in turns 1 and 2. I mean, he was way up the racetrack past that second white line, so we'll see if that line works later on in the race. He's able to stay even with them down the back straightaway, but not able to keep the momentum in turns 3 and 4. So under caution for the first time this evening, 5 laps in of our 125 lap event. And things got single file pretty quickly there. We went into turns 1 and 2 and everybody was kind of jostling for position, and then down the back straightaway it was really just Brian Zimmerman and Brandon Elvis side by side going into turns 3 and 4. So we'll see if these guys are a little bit more racy on this restart. But the lights are off. The Bad Company Racing pace car. And we're getting ready to go back. Green flag racing. It was a good start last time. We'll see what Brandon Elvis has in store in the 54. He's the control man through the restart zone. We're back racing. Good start from Elvis down low in the 54. He's going to be clear in turns 1 and 2. Here comes Dalton Creech trying to make a battle for the second spot down low. Dalton Creech, Brian Zimmerman battling right here for the second spot. Zimmerman doing a good job up top, making the outside lane work. You see him roll the outside off the corner, get some momentum down the back straightaway. Rob Hatton back in the 00. Ooh, Tanner Marr in the 4 machine. Trouble in turns 1 and 2. Just realized my mic was muted, folks. Don't know how long that's happened. That's been a thing for, but just noticed that. Do apologize about that. I'm back on lap number 43. Brandon Elvis and Brian Zimmerman still going at it for the race lead. 28's right there on the back bumper. Just really hasn't been able to find an opening that fits his liking. He's tried the outside, but it seems to just pull him back further. But Elvis right here just doing a good job maintaining his line. About 20 laps shy of halfway. So you just gotta get your car to the end at this point in the race. Into turns 3 and 4. Approaching lap car number 79, Jeffrey Miller. Anthony Reddick in the 9 machine, trouble. He just jumped to the pits, might have had an accident and reset his car. You see him with some front end damage there down on pit road in the 9. Not what you want to see for Anthony Reddick in the 9 machine. Lap number 50 right here. Brandon Elvis has about a 2-car length advantage over Brian Zimmerman. It's 2 seconds back to Zach Murphy in the 3rd spot in the 29 machine. Owen Zacharias still in the 4th position after that restart. Nine cars still on the lead lap right here. A couple cars 2 laps down, still running. But 2 cars out of this one. Anthony Rennick, Tanner Marr, both had accidents, had to retire the car. Right now they're approaching Bradley Hollifield in the 3 machine. About to go 1 lap down. You see him up on the top side. Out of the leader's way. And Brian Zimmerman is starting to kind of fall off the back bumper of the 54. We saw him putting a lot of pressure on, but the gap's starting to open up between the 2 front runners. Back behind, Rob Hattenback underneath Owen Zacharias for the 4th spot. Here comes Dalton Creech with him. Up the racetrack they go, nearly 3 wide. As Dalton Creech goes by the 11 as well. He's way up the racetrack. Man, look at the run that the 11 of Owen Zacharias got right there. Off the top side, he's back underneath Dalton Creech in the 36 for the 5th spot. Good racing, nearly contact in the center of the corner right there. I think the 36 is going to get the spot for now. Kevin Prettyman in the 88 machine going 1 lap down. Jeffrey Miller in the 79 machine going to go another lap down there as well. Going to be halfway next time around. 7 cars still on the lead lap. The battle for the 5th spot has seemed to have settled down. Daniel Sweat approaching the 11 car of Owen Zacharias, though, for the 6th spot as they make their way around Bradley Hollifield. The gap even bigger now to Zach Murphy in the 3rd spot. 3.7 seconds the difference. So everybody really starting to get spread out throughout the top 7. But just shy of halfway. We are good on fuel till the end. But so far, the only car on the lead lap that has came down pit road was the 07 of Daniel Sweat, as he's made his way around Owen Zacharias for the 6th spot. Milton Creech right here running in the 5th spot. He had a good battle with Owen Zacharias to get that 5th position. Ooh, contact right there in lap car. Kevin Prettyman in the 88 machine. Right now, though, Brandon Elvis just doing what he needs to do. He is the fastest car on the racetrack, other than Daniel Sweat and Owen Zacharias, both running a little bit quicker than Elvis that last time around, but 7 seconds back. They're probably going to need a caution to make up that deficit. But I'll be interested to see what happens if there is a caution flag and we see some drivers come down pit road. Obviously, we'll see drivers come down and take tires, but will anybody elect to take 2 tires or maybe take a fuel-only stop, take left sides? I don't know why you'd do any of that, but it'll be interesting to see what kind of fuel strategy they play. I'd be surprised if we didn't see anybody try and do the 2-tire strategy and make it work. As Brandon Elvis puts Jeffrey Miller another lap down in the 10th spot. 50 laps to go at the line. So 75 down, 50 to go in our 125 lap feature event here. Race number 1 of the SRX Spring Shootout for the All-Star Racing League. 6 races here for the SRX Spring Shootout. So we are 5 flags this week. Next week we are at Lucas Oil, but not Lucas Oil Raceway, Indianapolis Park. Lucas Oil Speedway, a little dirt track in Wheatland, Missouri. Pretty fun track. I've raced there a couple times in modifieds and late models here on iRacing. So I'll be interested to see how these SRX cars do. And then we're going to Nashville Fairgrounds, Lanier in week number 4 for a doubleheader for asphalt and dirt. That'll be a fun one. And then week number 5, Eldora, classic track for the SRX cars. And we're going to cap it off at Myrtle Beach. That'll be a really fun one because that track shreds tires and these cars also shred tires. So that one is going to be a tire-saving masterclass and an exciting race for sure. Right now, 81 laps into race number 1. Right now, Brandon Elvis continuing to set a great pace. He is now the fastest car on the racetrack. A couple other cars starting to fall off a little bit. The only car left in the 17 second bracket. Ticks off lap number 85. 2 seconds back is Brian Zimmerman in the 28 machine, the second spot. Jeffrey Miller is down pit road in the 78. Dalton Creech, Daniel Sweat right here battling for the 5th spot. Rob Hattenback right there in front of him as well. 07 of Sweat. Ooh, up the racetrack goes the 36. A little bit of contact there. Luckily, both drivers kept it going in a straight line. The 07 of Sweat's kind of turning on the switch here. He's been running faster lap times. We've been keeping an eye on him. He's making the outside lane work right here. 87 laps in. Way up the racetrack goes the 00, and I'll be interested to see if we see anybody come in for tires under the green flag run, because we're now nearly 2 seconds slower than our beginning lap times. If you're one of these guys in the 8th spot right here, you might want to pit and try and leapfrog the leaders, kind of force their hands, because you are going to jump them at the end of the race if you pit right here for tires. Times that we're seeing, and the fall off's just going to get worse. We'll see if anybody's willing to play that strategy. Ooh, both of them in the wall right there. Dalton Creech, Rob Hattenback, both drivers looking to be having trouble with the tires. See the 00 right up the racetrack, the right front, not wanting to turn anymore. But Brandon Elvis, 92 laps in. Still 7 cars left on the lead lap here. At 94 laps in, it's going to take a caution to really shake things up here in the last 30 laps. Daniel Sweat has drove up and tracked down Zach Murphy. He's really starting to pick up some time on the rest of the field. He gets around Zach Murphy, so move Daniel Sweat up into the third spot. He's starting to close the gap to Brandon Elvis. We'll take a look at the lap times now that he's in open traffic right here, or open space. Last time around, Daniel Sweat about 2/10 quicker than your race leader, Brandon Elvis, and significantly quicker, about 4/10 quicker than Brian Zimmerman in the second spot. So the 07 of Daniel Sweat starting to pick up the pace here on the end of this run. But we'll see if we get a caution to shake things up. If not, I think the 07 will probably end up catching Brian Zimmerman in the 28. With the pace that he's going, 25 laps to go at the line for Brandon Elvis, your race leader. Owen Zacharias getting back around. Rob Hatton back in the 00. Elvis down the back straightaway, coming to 24 to go. He's got a pretty good commanding race lead over Brian Zimmerman still. These guys are good on fuel, so not going to have to worry about that. But how much longer will the tires hold up? You can blow tires here in iRacing. Once you beat the snot out of them to a certain percent, they will eventually give out and you really just won't have a tire going into the corner. But it takes a lot of wear and tear on that tire, and I don't think we'll see it in just 125 laps. It is possible though. 22 to go for your race leader, Brandon Elvis. He has got a huge lead outside the top three. It's over 5 seconds if you exclude Brian Zimmerman in the second spot. Like I mentioned earlier on in this race, the tire saving was gonna be the key to this race. These cars are in extremely sensitive. Ooh, contact right there. Dalton Creech, Owen Zacharias in the 11. Nearly making contact. The 11 kind of backed off a little bit. He's kind of charged back up, trying to make his way back into the top 5 inside of 20 laps to go. It's really interesting to see all the different lines that these guys are running. Notice throughout the race that no two drivers are running the same line the entire time. Ooh, contact right there. Zacharias gave Creech the shove going into the corner, but it didn't work out in his favor. 3 of Bradley Hollifield, kind of wrong place, wrong time right there. These guys still battling close inside the top 5 with 16 to go. And the caution flag flies. Rob Hattenback in the 00 is sitting on the front straightaway the wrong way. Not quite sure what happened. I see the 3 machine of Bradley Hollifield involved as well. Take a look at what happened. This is going into turn 3 the lap before. Looks like Hattenback just got loose, couldn't hang on to it off the corner. The 3 slides in, locked it down, but nowhere to go. So that is going to put us under yellow here late in this one and shake things up. Do we see anybody play 2 tires is my question right here. Will anybody be brave enough to do 2 tires? Here are your 2 race leaders. Brian Zimmerman tried to beat him out. But did he get it? I think Brandon Elvis is going to be your race leader. But both drivers actually doing 2 tires right there. Not electing to take 4. Other drivers still in pit road though, taking those 4 tires. See Daniel Sweat down pit road. He was turning up the dial there late before that caution flag. It'll be exciting here. The top 2 got 2 tires. Everybody else behind them, I do believe, got 4 tires. We're going to be sending them back green flag with 10 laps to go, or around 10 laps to go. Nine laps to go when we send him, or when we send them back green flag racing. Oh, just kidding. They turned on the caution lights once again. Not quite ready with the lineup. Gonna get them refigured out and then we'll send them back racing. Probably this time by, I'd say. The field's back and ready to go. This one's gonna be exciting here, folks, because a lot of guys have different tire situations. This is the first real stack up of track position that we've had in a while, so gonna be an exciting one down into turns 1 and 2. The field making their way through turns 3 and 4. Through the restart zone, we are back racing. Elvis gets a good jump. Zimmerman does not. He's gonna have to fend off several cars. He's up the racetrack. Brian Zimmerman in the 28 machine did not get a good restart in the 11 of Zacharias straight into the outside wall. Big time contact right there. The 28 machine got into the back bumper of the 11. See the 28 already behind the 11 on the restart. And off the corner, just a disagreement on space, and 11 went straight into the outside wall. Daniel Sweat in the 07 also sliding. But definitely not good there for the 28 of Brian Zimmerman. He's going to come down pit road. Probably get some damage fixed. Might even throw on some left side tires since track position's gone. 6 laps to go under caution once again. So 5 to go. Brandon Elvis going to be your race leader still. Zach Murphy in the second spot, and Dalton Creech sitting on the podium right now. But a big time moment there. Owen Zacharias up into the outside wall. Levy's back on track without a front bumper. Brian Zimmerman also back on track in the 28. Zimmerman will remain on the lead lap, the last car on the lead lap. Behind Elvis, Murphy, Creech, and Sweat. The lights are off in the Bad Company Racing pace car. We're going to be sending them back green with 2 laps to go. Green, white, checkered time here at the Five Flags Speedway. Turns 3 and 4, and through the restart zone, Elvis gets a good jump. Once again, we are back green flag racing into turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway, here they go. Oh, Creech hard into the outside wall, right back up in front of the field, and we're gonna do it again. You saw it unfold right there, folks. We'll take another look at it from our backstretch camera. Murphy and Creech come together right there down the back straightaway, and that brings us under yellow. We'll get another look from up above, try and see if we can figure out what exactly happened. Just a slight disagreement on space. On board with Zach Murphy right here. Not quite sure what happened. We'll go on board with Dalton Creech, see what we can see. Yeah, it looks like he just gets hooked and then bam, right there. Nowhere for those guys to go. We came right back down in front of the field. Just nothing those guys could do. Dalton Creech gonna be a little bit further back, but I think he had a faster pair remaining, so he's gonna be able to get right back out there. Owen Zacharias still rolling around with the front bumper missing. Daniel Sweat going to be up into the second spot, though. Remember, he was having some pretty good lap times before the end of that run, and he was really starting to figure things out. So we'll see if he's got anything for Brandon Elvis here in the closing laps. But we're going to have one green-white checkered attempt here, I do believe. Elvis going to try and seal the deal here. The lights are off on the Bad Company Racing pace car. We'll see what we can do. Brandon Elvis going to try and cap off this victory. And Daniel Sweat going to try and steal one here. Brian Zimmerman right there in the 28 machine as well. He's had speed this race. Through the restart zone, we're back racing once again. Elvis got a good restart. We'll see what we can do. Into turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway, everybody going to try and keep it going in the right direction. Ooh, here comes Daniel Sweat. He got a big run to the bottom side of the racetrack. Does he have anything for Brandon Elvis? White flag is out. One more lap to go. One more time around. Daniel Sweat right there on the back bumper. He's going to have to get a good run down the back straightaway. Does he have anything into turns 3 and 4? One final time. An effort there through the center, but not going to have enough. Brandon Elvis going to cap it off with a victory here in the first race of the SRX Spring Shootout for the All-Star Racing League. Brandon Elvis is going to pick up the victory at the Five Flags Speedway. Brandon Elvis in the Barry Elvis Performance and Fabrication. Number 54 going to pick up the victory here tonight. A dominant display. Led every lap here tonight and comes home with the victory. Brandon Elvis burning down here on the front straightaway. We're going to return here in one moment, folks, on True Sim Productions, and wrap it up with a word from our top 3 and finish things off here at the Five Flags Speedway. Be back in one moment on True Sim Productions. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to True Sim Productions. Going to wrap things up here and grab a word from our top 3 competitors, starting with our 3rd place finisher, Brian Zimmerman in the 28 machine. See if we can get him up in the booth.
I don't care.
Brian Zimmerman in the 28. You got a copy?
I got you. Winston, how you tonight, buddy?
I'm pretty good. Ran 3rd here tonight. Started in the 2nd spot, and you put up a pretty good fight with Brandon Elvis there for a while. And late race restart, had some trouble with the 11 of Owen Zacharias, and you were able to recover though and get yourself back in the podium. Tell me how your race went.
Well, early, I think we had some really good speed early, and I pushed it really hard trying to get around Brandon early. I really burned up my right front and didn't have anything for him. He was just very consistent and just fast all night. So should have played a little smarter early and not pushed so hard. But I really felt like we had some good speed early. Thought if we could have got track position, had some clean air, that would have been the difference in the race. But I couldn't never get around him. I'd get low a few times and just never could hold it off, and just ran second. We had a good second, third place car all night, and then when Owen got into me, it was really my fault down the front. Coming on that restart, I spun the tires really bad on the restart, put myself in a bad position there. So Owen apologized, no big deal. It's just racing. He didn't know I was on the outside there, and we had that incident. But no. To be able to come back and get a third, should be happy with that, because after that mistake there, I thought I was going to be, seventh or eighth, but able to come back, get a third, and have a good solid run tonight. But didn't have anything for Brandon. He was just super fast tonight, so congratulations to him. He definitely earned that one and definitely deserved it.
Yeah, he definitely, as they say, was the class of the field. Consistent all night long. I didn't see him get loose one time. And I was watching pretty much the entire time. But regardless, third place here tonight, not a bad run for you. As I said, was able to recover from that incident late in the race and still get on the podium. So that's always a bonus. But before we wrap things up, anybody that you have to thank that got you on the podium here tonight?
Well, definitely want to thank Brandon Elvis for putting on the league for us, getting all this together, and heading it up, and all the sponsors that make this possible for us. We appreciate it. We appreciate you up in the broadcast booth, broadcasting the race for us. And shout out to Daniel Sweat too. Didn't mean to leave him out. He had a great run. He was really fast late in the race there. So good second place finish for him. So congratulations to him. Shout out to my brother-in-law Andrew and his brother Jonathan. They're always watching and supporting us. So thank them, and the guys at Five Kings, Tanner Moore, and all those guys that I run with. We appreciate all they do for us.
Alrighty, well, congratulations to you once again on your third place run, and we look forward to seeing you back next week on the dirt tracks.
Sounds good, bud. Hopefully we can make that one. We got a lot of stuff going on with the family next week, but I'm going to try my best to be here. So thanks again, Winston. We look forward to watching the broadcast tomorrow.
Yep. You have a good night, Brian.
You too, bud.
Alrighty, folks. Third place finisher, Brian Zimmerman. Now we're going to grab a word from our second place finisher, coming home second from the 8th spot, starting here tonight. Daniel Sweat up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, man.
So second place here tonight. You started 8th. You were in the 7th, 8th spot at the beginning of that run, and as time went on, you just slowly ticked your way up, and then you really started to drive through the field around the lap 70 to 80 mark and found yourself in a pretty good spot with track position. Came down, got some tires, and you found yourself in the second place spot. Tell me how your race went.
I'm not very good at five flags, so it was really just 100 and what was going to be 125 laps learning session, really. I just rode at the beginning, tried to save. It played out at the end.
Yeah, sometimes these races are definitely just learning sessions, and good drivers really pick up through the race and are able to adapt with the race car, and that's what you did here tonight. Ended up in the second place spot, and we're putting together some of the best laps on the racetrack really late in that run when the tires were not really there. So good run there with the second place finish. Anybody that you have to thank that helped get you on the podium here tonight?
Yeah, Barry Elvis Performance Fabrication, Coleman Design, Houston Production. You do a great job in the booth when you come in, Winston. Brandon Elvis and Dalton for putting this league on. They do a killer job in pretty much everything they do. So big shout out to them, and shout out to Elvis for taking home the dub. I know he's got some family watching, so big ups to him.
Alrighty, well, congratulations to you, Daniel, on your second place finish here tonight. We will look forward to seeing you next week at Lucas Oil.
Appreciate it, man.
Alrighty, folks. Second place finisher, Daniel Sweat. Now we're going to grab a word from the man of the hour, led all 100 laps here tonight from the pole. Brandon Elvis, you got a copy.
What's up, brother?
Well, got the victory here tonight. 125 laps, and you led them all. And didn't really look back from the beginning. Had a couple restarts where you had a lot of pressure from Brian Zimmerman, and he was on your back bumper there for a while, but after the tires started to fade away, it was smooth sailing from there.
Yeah, I knew he was really wanting to he was wanting to get to the lead. I knew he was trying to push me a little harder than I wanted to go at the time because I was trying to save, and he was aware of that. He was just trying to make me use myself up a little more than I wanted to, but luckily I was able to keep rolling the center pretty good there and keep him at bay. I was able to get really good drive off, and I think that was the difference. That's why after 30 laps or so, he faded off because I feel like he probably burned his tires up pretty bad there. But I thought Daniel was going to get me at the end.
Yeah, Daniel was pretty quick there, and I was kind of keeping an eye on the lap times around the lap 70 to 80 mark, and he was one of the quicker cars in the racetrack. And after his interview, he said it was a 70 or 125 lap learning session for him, and he definitely picked up a lot of speed there in the end, and he put up a pretty good challenge. I thought he was going to get to your back bumper there going into 3. He picked up a big run the lap before, and I thought if he could build up that run again, he could probably give a pretty good run to the inside. But
yeah, on the green flag lap, he got a super run off of 2, and coming from the top side, that wide arc in the corner, and I had to protect. I'm glad he checked up going into 3 because I know he was looking, but I wasn't giving it to him, so I'm glad he didn't take it.
Yeah, I saw that happen a couple times here tonight. People went way up the racetrack in turns 1 and 2 and just got the biggest run I've ever seen going down the back straightaway, and were able to make it work in turns 3 and 4. But nonetheless, a very exciting finish there at the end between the two of you. Had to hold them off and make you really earn this victory, but that you did. Got the victory here tonight. Anybody that you have to thank to help you do it?
Yes, sir. I just want to shout out my wife and my mother-in-law. They're sitting in the living room right now watching, I believe. So shout out to them. Was late getting into practice. We went out for some ice cream, so was late getting in here. But shout out to them. Various Performance, Coleman Design, Shootout Racing Performance, Chestnut Hill Restaurant. He always helps us out a ton. You for putting this broadcast on. We really appreciate it. And I just want to say a shout out to Brian Voss and his family. They're going through some tough stuff right now, and with their daughter. She just came out of heart surgery earlier today, and she's recovering and resting. So we're keeping them in our thoughts and prayers. And if anybody out there is watching this that wants to join us Thursday, we have a pretty cool benefit race going on for her. So if y'all could keep her in your prayers and join us if you can.
Yeah, great. Great cause to help right there, and a great story, and something to keep in the back of our heads, and note that life's not always, you can't take it for granted. It's not always promised, It's something
Yes, sir.
to really think about and take through the rest of your days. But not to get sidetracked from your victory here tonight, congratulations, Brandon, on your victory. Next week we go to Lucas Oil and we get to sling some mud around. Are you prepared to change the terrain a little bit?
I am, man. These cars are just as fun on dirt. We'll get the setup dialed in for it, which is mainly just taking the asphalt setup off of it and taking 22 gallons of fuel out of the car. And they're pretty fun to drive. We drove them last week on dirt. We didn't have a big turnout for it, but it was a lot of fun to drive. So it's like driving old street stock around. So
yeah, I ran them at Cedar Lake, and they're definitely quite a bit of fun on dirt as well. So that's an exciting race that we get to look forward to. But nonetheless, congratulations to you on your victory here tonight.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Alrighty, folks. Brandon Elvis, driver of the number 54 machine, picking up the win here tonight. As he said, Brian Voss, champion last season in the All-Star Racing League. Just going through a tough patch right now, but a lot of thoughts and prayers from the All-Star Racing community and the Crooked Line Racing community, the True Sim Productions, all of us Really a lot of care of family here. But nonetheless, tonight here at Five Flags, Brandon Elvis picking up the victory, and really in dominant fashion, led every single lap, but almost got it stolen right there at the end. Daniel Sweat very close, very, very close at the end, but I think that's going to do it for us here tonight. I really do apologize about the issues with the audio and the timing and scoring as well. Something was wrong literally 2 minutes before the race started, or before qualifying started and coverage started, and I tried to figure it out, but I had to completely reinstall my timing and scoring app. So unfortunate that happened, but I'm glad we got it going for the end of the race. So you guys could see how many laps there were, and I didn't have to manually control the cameras. So looking forward to being back in the booth next week. But I think that's going to do it for us here tonight. I'm your host, Winston Neal from the WD Broadcasting Network over on Facebook. And thank you guys for tuning in to True Sim Productions. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.